You're listening to Talk in the Night with your host, Paranormal Phil. And now, your host.
Thank you and good evening, good morning, wherever you may be listening to the show tonight around the world or in the comfort of your own home. I am Paranormal Phil, and tonight we have open lines for the full 2 hours where you, the listeners, can call in and share your stories, experiences, or questions. Also, since it is Valentine's week, Valentine's Day was on Wednesday, which I didn't do a show because of it. I thought I'd give everybody a break to spend with their loved ones if they have it. But since it is Valentine's week, I want to hear your calls about dating or relationship disasters, or if they're good, I want to hear those. Now, the phone lines will be open in a little bit for the first 5-10 minutes of the show. I want to talk about a story that was recently out in my neck of the woods having to do with Bigfoot. And I posted a link up on my personal page. I'll share the story in the Talk of the Night page. And if you're not a member of the group fans of Talk in the Night, be sure to check it out and join the group. We'll be glad to have you there. We've got plenty of admin to accept your request and everything. So let's get into the story that I wanted to talk about, and this comes actually from March 17th, 2017. Well, March 17th, 2017, in Crestline, California. Now that's probably, I want to say, maybe about 50 miles from me. But I wanted to talk about this. And I want to also, real quick, before I do that, I want to share this, and I want to thank everybody that just popped in the chat. There is a little chat bubble on the Spreaker player. If you go to Spreaker, search for Talk in the Night and play tonight's show, Open Lines, which we are live now. When you look at the little player at the bottom of the screen that says Open Lines, there's a little chat bubble just to the right of it. Click on that and that'll get you into the chat. Now, if you're in the chat right now, I cannot see you because I got my thing on another site just so I can embed this onto the show's website, which is talkingthenight.weebly.com. Be sure to check out the website and everything like that. A lot of great content on there. Story of the day, this day in history, and so much more. Now, like I was saying, there was actually a Bigfoot sighting in Crestline, California. Like I said, about 50 miles from me. I actually want to actually go out there and see if I can capture a photo or a video of the elusive Bigfoot, and hopefully get some real proof. Now, I know there's a lot of videos out there of people that have seen Bigfoot and everything like that, but a lot of it is kind of grainy, stuff like that. Now, the story is a Crestline, California woman said she spotted a Sasquatch in the San Bernardino Mountains and filed a lawsuit to prove it. If they wanted to hurt us that day, they could have. Claudia, I'm not going to mention her last name. You can read the story for yourself. I'm just not going to mention her last name. So, we were right there. Claudia was hiking a trail in Blue Jay where her two daughters on March 17th, 2017, between 6:30 and 7 p.m. She said her daughters noticed it first. They're standing right there, frozen, like looking at something, Claudia said. She believes they were looking at Bigfoot. He looked like a Neanderthal man with lots of hair. About 800 pounds, she said. I was trying to tell it to please not hurt us, and that's when he just stared at me. Now, I've talked to Gary, one Open Lines, about his encounter with Bigfoot, and that one was a little on the aggressive side. Everything like that. I'm just checking something real quick. Uh, where it threw a rock, and I mean a big rock, at him. And so, I mean, I've had my encounters with Bigfoot, and I noticed him, but he didn't notice me. But I also made sure that I was out of sight of him, or tried to stay out of sight of him, because when something is 12 to 15 feet tall and that big, no telling what it can do. Now, Claudia said that the Sasquatch was perched in a tree about 30 feet above the ground. She said there were two other Sasquatch nearby. Now, a lot of people might be thinking, well, could it have been a bear? And yes, it could have been. A lot of people say it was a bear. It could have been a bear. Um, and stuff like that. And there have been reported sightings in the San Bernardino, San Gornio mountain range and everything like that. So it's quite possible. Now, continuing on, she says, all I'm thinking is, please don't get near us because I have my children, she said. Claudia called 911 but said the authorities didn't believe her. And a lot of people will not believe a person that says they had a sighting with Bigfoot. Now, she said that the dispatcher said, I'm sorry you saw a bear. And she told them that no, this was no bear. I know what I saw. Now, Claudia has filed a lawsuit against the state of California as well as the California Department of Fish and Game for refusing to acknowledge the existence of the species of Bigfoot. The spokesperson for CDFW would not comment because of the pending lawsuit. They're on our property, they knock on our walls, they look through our windows, Claudia said. It's more and more and more. So, apparently, she has had more than one sighting of this Bigfoot creature. And everything like that. So, like I said, I want to actually, probably sometime this year, go out there to the San Bernardino Mountains and actually set up some cameras and see if I can catch a glimpse of the elusive Bigfoot out there for people to actually see, not a grainy picture, but a clear picture of Bigfoot. Now, I will keep my distance, like I said, from my sighting. I don't want to even get that close to it. So, maybe get some trail cams and put them out and see if I can't capture an image of one of these. So right now we do have the phone lines open. I'm gonna open them up now, and I'm gonna post in the chat here the phone lines, but I'm also gonna mention them over the air. And the numbers to call in if you got Skype Paranormal Phil, all one word. Or if you do not have Skype, you can call in by dialing 951 223 5055. Phone lines are now open. And tonight I want to hear your stories, experiences, or questions. If you have any questions about the paranormal. Also, like I said earlier, I want to hear like dating disasters or relationship disasters, or if they were good, I want to hear those too. So the phone lines are now open. We'll get into some questions while we wait for any calls to come in. And sorry, I'm just typing. I have a hard time talking and typing at the same time because while I'm typing, I try to think of what I'm typing. I really need somebody else to do the typing for me. But I'd be glad to do the typing. Now, Nicole said, and like I said, since it's Valentine's week, I wanted to get into, like I said, relationship and um, dating stuff and everything like that. And she said on her first date, she spilled her drink in her date's lap. Now, I'm sure that's happened to a lot of people. Um, so don't feel bad, Nicole. I'm sure it's happened to others. Of course, it's never happened to me, but I've had my own share of dating disasters, which I will not get into on the air. Um, because they're too long of a story, and I only got 2 hours. But I've had plenty of them. Now I'm just typing the numbers in the chat. Like I said, I have trouble typing at the same time I'm talking because I'll usually mess up what I am trying to type. So, like I said, phone lines are open. Skype Paranormal Phil, all one word, or by phone at 951 223 5055. Now, let's get into some of the questions that I pulled up from a site here. Like I said, now phone calls, I want to mention this while I'm looking for a question to answer. Um, is keep the calls to a short minimum of no more than 5 minutes. Just because if more people call in, I want to have room to get them on the show as quickly as possible. When you do call in, make sure you have your sound down on the player that you're listening to the show, because I do not need the feedback. And also mention your first name only, no last names. Now, also, I ask that you are not rude to anybody that calls in or their experiences or anything like that, or do not be rude to me because I will cut you off there right there. Now, let's get into first question here, and it is a question about mirrors and portals. And it's basically simply our mirrors portals. And yes and no is the answer to that. Um, because, and I keep bringing up the Omen House only because I've been there multiple times, and I can tell you for a matter of fact that there are portals elsewhere besides in the mirrors. But they're like fissures and stuff like that. One happened to actually be outside the home, and it has to do with the high geomagnetic field in the Benedict Canyon, which has caused these portals or fissures or whatever you want to call them to open up to where the spirit world can come in nice and easy. Now, like I said, yes, some of them can be portals. There is actually one mare there that has actually drawn people into it, kind of made them walk right into it. And I can actually share that video, but I'm actually working, if I ever find time to do it, I'm working on a screenplay about that event. Now, it's going to be based off of a true story, but the story is going to be changed just so that way we don't infringe on other people's rights. But it will be based off of a true story. Now, I'm also, if I also ever have time, I'm working on my first book. I kind of stopped both of those like a year or two ago, just because I just never seemed to have time to actually get things done with them. And that book is going to be about the paranormal dark side. Uh, just because I've dealt with a lot of the darker entities in the spirit world. So I want to actually kind of write about my experiences, other people's experiences, especially with like Ouija boards and stuff like that. Now, I will mention this, the Ouija board is not bad by itself. It is the intent that you put into the board that makes it bad. Now, I was doing a cleansing the other night for somebody that lives in Ohio, and I forgot to share this on the Talk of the Night website. And a Ouija board was used there. And it took like 3 hours to do this cleansing because just the people that I was doing it for did not want to cooperate all that well. And so it took a while to do, but I actually was able to do it. Now, whether I will mention this, if I ever have to do a cleansing for somebody, please listen to what I have to say, because if you go back to doing the same thing again after I do the cleansing, there is no help for you. You have to want to be willing to accept the help and follow through with it, because if you mess with the board or mess with any other thing that and you put the wrong intent into it, that's what you're going to get out of it. So I wanted to kind of mention that. Now, like I said, oops, I want to change that. Now, like I said, the phone lines are open if you want to call in, share your stories, experiences, or questions. And the numbers to call in are by Skype, Paranormal Phil, all one word, or by phone if you do not have Skype, 951 223 5055. If I can talk tonight. So come on in to the chat. Let me know you're listening, or even call into the show, and I will get you on the air. Don't be shy. I promise I don't bite. Now, also I want to mention about the event that I got coming up in April. Tickets are still available for it, and it is the Omen House meet and greet and ghost investigation. And that is happening on April 21st at the Omen House. Now, what this entails is the first hour of the show, or first hour of the night, I will be doing a live radio show with my guest, David Oman, at his house with the people that buy tickets for the event. And of course, the first half of the hour I will be talking just with David. In the second half, I'll open up the floor to people there that bought tickets to ask David questions about the haunting of his home. Then in the second hour, of it, we will have a meet and greet where you can grab snacks. There will be snacks. There will be food and drinks. No alcohol. Please, no alcohol, because that can turn bad. I've seen it happen bad. But no alcohol for this event. And we'll be talking with amongst each other, and me and David will be there to answer questions. You can ask me about my show. You can ask me about the house. Like I said, I've been there over 100 times since late 2013. Stuff like that. And then from 8 o'clock at night to 2 a.m., maybe 3, depending on how the night goes. It will be a 6-hour ghost investigation where you, the ones that buy the tickets, can go around and investigate the location for yourself. And check it out. Now, also, the price of the ticket includes a seance that will take place at midnight. Now I will not be the one running the seance, but we do have a psychic that will run the seance, and that'll take place at midnight for about an hour. If it maybe a little bit longer, maybe a little shorter, I don't know. Depends on how many people want to get involved in it. But usually when we do a seance there, it lasts for about an hour or so. But this place, you don't want to miss this. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity, because this might not happen ever again. The only reason why I'm able to put on this event, because I talked to David Oman himself and told him I would like to do this event at your house, because he's not doing the tours anymore. allowing groups that they want to do a tour there, but they have to get the people and collect the money and everything themselves. But this will be open for only 30 people. So get your tickets and before they sell out, because once things get going and we get closer to that date, those tickets are going to sell out. Now, I'm not certain if I'm going to do it yet or not, but it's quite possible throughout the night I will be streaming the event live on Facebook, and I'll probably stream the seance live. We'll see about that. And I'm sure somebody else is gonna broadcast it on Periscope, but if he's there. But at least throughout the night we'll do little short, maybe 5 minute live broadcast of the Omen House while we're there during the ghost investigation. Now, as far as the radio show, we'll be on the air as well as possibly Facebook Live. We'll see about that, because every time I go live on Facebook while I'm on the air, it takes away from my listeners to the radio show. But like I said, it's going to be a special event, and you'll want to tune in for that, or not tune in for that, well, unless you don't get a ticket. But like I said, it's an event that you don't want to miss. Now let's get in. Like I said, the phone lines are open. Call in, don't be shy. I'm going to get into one more question before we go into the break. And let's see, I saw it here. Let's see. Now, this one is, what are the tunnels seen during near-death experiences? Now, back when my show was actually called PRT Paranormal Talk, that was quite like 3 years ago. I had a friend on the show that had a NDE or near-death experience, and he never mentioned anything about seeing a tunnel. Now, as far as like a tunnel, seeing a tunnel when you have a near-death experience or when you die, I guess that's all up to your belief system, what you believe. And of course, I've never had an NDE or anything like that, not that I know of, but I'm sure once, if I ever had one, or when I do pass on from this life, I'm sure I will see some kind of light, but not a tunnel. And I know people be like, okay, well, the Bible says this. Well, yeah, well, that's up to your personal belief system. Again, I'm not going to try and change your belief or anything like that. But yeah, I'll get into that after the break. But we're going to take a short commercial break. We'll be right back with more open line phone calls and your questions, stories, and experiences. We'll be right back.
I am thinking it's all in my head. 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 It's all in my head.
This Valentine's Day, get the ghost hunting love of your life something they will love from GhostStop.com. If you love to play board games together, well, Ghost Stop has Ghostbusters Monopoly for $39.95. Or how about a gadget holster for all their equipment, now on sale for $19.95. Click on the banner ad at the top of the Talk in the Night website and get shopping today. GhostStop.com, your one-stop shop for all your ghost hunting needs.
Do you have a paranormal team? Are you a small-time author? Do you have a radio show that you would like to promote? Is there anything that you would like to get the word out there about but don't have a big budget? Well, Talk in the Night has an opportunity for you to sponsor the show without breaking your wallet. Contact the show at talkinthetonight@outlook.com or on the show's website or Facebook page for more details.
Do you think you have a haunted or cursed object? Well, Nicole Gaspard does, and in her book Haunted Vessels and Cursed Objects, she talks about her continued paranormal and supernatural ghost encounters, haunted dolls, and other items that are supposed to be haunted or cursed. Pick up your copy today on Amazon.com.
I've called 1,000 times to tell you I'm sorry for everything that I've done. But when I call, you never seem to be home. Hello from the outside.
To call into the show, Skype Paranormal Phil, or by phone at 951-223-5055. And now back to more open line phone calls with your host, Paranormal Phil.
Okay, and we are back with more of the open line phone calls. And you can also pop in the chat, but I really would like to hear the phone calls coming in. If you're listening, call in, share your stories, experiences, questions. Don't be shy. Nobody's going to judge you because, like I said earlier, if anybody calls in and judges you, they get hung up on. Now, I wanted to get into another question here, and I almost forgot to load up the commercial break for the next one. But I wanted to get into something that was actually talked about a couple of nights ago about music and everything like that. And Nicole in the chat room, me and her were talking about it, and of course a guy in New York was hearing piano music, and he doesn't have a piano. Well, what I got from the spirit world is that it was coming through the doorway to the spirit world that was open in my friend Nicole's place, which she does have a piano. And even though she couldn't hear it there, it was being heard in New York. And I was clearly hearing in my head this sound of Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata. Correct me if I'm wrong, Nicole. Was it Moonlight's? Shoot, I can't remember the name of it. I know it was Moonlight Sonora or something like that. I can't remember, but it was by Beethoven. and I kept hearing it over and over in my head. And when the guy in New York did a YouTube video, that's exactly the sound that was being played. And so we had to bring in Nicole into this live Facebook Messenger call. It wasn't Facebook Live, it was a Messenger call, the group call and everything. We talked about the music while he had to go and do the YouTube video, so me and Nicole were talking about it. And I had to do a couple of experiments with the digital recorder, and she did get an EVP from it, but I don't think it was the piano playing, and I might be wrong, but that's where it was come from. So this next question here from the site, like I said, I'll answer any question that you have. So just call into the show. I promise you I don't bite. But this next question is music playing in my home from Ghost. And the person says, daily I hear muffled music playing in different rooms of my house. It usually sounds like an old TV show or music from the 1920s. I am the only one that hears this music. Even when I can hear it clearly, my husband can't. Why is this occurring and by whom? Now, of course, I'm not going to open up myself to the spirit world to answer this question. Well, not do a reading. That's another thing. I will not do any readings for anybody on the air. If you want readings done, I will do them in private. Just send me a message on the Talk in the Night Facebook page, through the website, or at talkinthe.night@outlook.com, and I will get back to you as quickly as possible. But some spirits do love music, and if it sounds like an old TV show or music from the 1920s, it's probably giving you a message. The spirit's probably giving this person a message that was the era or time that that person passed away. Now, in Nicole's case, where it was playing Beethoven, this person I was picking up had only died maybe 10 years prior. But since Nicole plays a lot of music and stuff like that on her piano, she probably had a thing for classical music, and she loved Beethoven. Now, I'm just making speculations here. I can't tell you for certain if she did or not, because I never asked her, the spirit, not Nicole. But she definitely loves the piano music, and Nicole has mentioned that she has heard this girl singing while she is playing the piano. So once again, with this question, why is it occurring? Well, like I said, it could be because the person wants them get a message to the person there that possibly that is why when they passed away, or maybe again they maybe had a thing for old TVs or music. Now, when I do investigations, I also look at the terrestrial explanation before I say anything is paranormal, because it's quite possible that it could be explained away. Maybe somebody left a TV on or a radio on and it just happened to play. Now, spirits can also manipulate just like they can manipulate dolls, they can also manipulate TVs, radios, anything electronic, and they can use that to manifest. But a lot of times it's usually to get a message to the person that is living there, or in some cases it might be a loved one that passed away and they're trying to get a message to you to let them know that they're okay and everything like that. Now, once again, the phone lines are open. Skype Paranormal Phil, or by phone at 951-223-5055. Now, this next question is the one that I wanted to, but I thought I'd answer that question about music since I just recently talked about that on Wednesday. But this question says, how do you know if you're an empath? And if you go to talkingthenight.weebly.com, on the vlog page, I wrote a blog about being an empath, how to tell if you're an empath and everything like that. And of course there are 6 different types of empaths. You can read it for yourself. But the question is, it says, I always thought I wasn't normal. And don't say you're not normal. And we got a call coming in. We'll answer the call and get back into that question. Now, if my computer will stop being stupid and let me answer the call. Alright, you're on the air. Who's this?
Hi, Phil. It's Nicole.
Hey, Nicole. So,
How are you?
I'm doing great. Just a little tired, but other than that, I'm good. So, did you have a story, experience, or a question that you wanted to talk about,
Yeah,
or did you want to talk about the music thing?
Yeah. Okay, that song was by Beethoven. It was by it's called Moonlight Sonata.
Okay. Yeah, I just couldn't remember the other word, and I didn't feel like punching it up on YouTube to find out the name.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, yeah, like we were talking Wednesday night, that it's almost like a creepy piano music sound, but as you mentioned, it's cool at the same time.
Yeah, it's cool but creepy.
Yeah. Now, have you heard any more of that girl spirit playing any more or singing?
Oh no, it's just whenever I'm at the piano, I haven't been at the piano all day today, so I haven't heard her. So.
Okay, I didn't know if she might have tried to play the piano for you or anything like that.
But actually, let me remind. Actually, this morning, I thought I heard a couple notes, but I wasn't in this room. I was in my other room.
Okay, so maybe she was trying to play a few notes of it.
I was just waking up soon. That's when I heard it.
Okay, now, also another thing we talked about was that song stuck in our heads, especially overnight. So, again, like I said, for those listening, I tried to look at a terrestrial explanation before I say it's paranormal.
Yeah.
But if you're just waking up, it could have been from a dream state or REM sleep. And it was probably still stuck in your head. Again, I'm not there with you. I can't tell you. I can't say whether that's what you experienced or not, because I'm not going to say that it's paranormal, but I'm not going to say that it's terrestrial either, because I wasn't there.
Yeah. And it's weird. I was listening to Pandora, and all of a sudden that song popped up on Pandora. I was like,
Okay.
really?
Oh yeah, that was definitely a weird experience and everything like that. Especially after we
Well, I
were
wouldn't
talking
get
about it.
again. It kind of freaked me out a bit.
Yeah, there's been times that I've been thinking about songs and all of a sudden a certain song pops up and it's like, really?
Yeah, definitely ESP at play right there.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. Thank you for letting us know that experience and everything like that. Definitely
Yeah.
about the hearing it this morning because, like I said, it could have been just waking up from sleep and you had the song still stuck in your head. I still got kind of that song still stuck in my head. Not so bad, but as Wednesday night,
I agree.
Thursday morning, but it's still kind of stuck in my head.
And I heard it on Pandora.
Yeah, and now it's going to be even more stuck there in your head. So, yeah, thank you for the call, Nicole, and
Yeah, thank you.
thank you for sharing that. So, we're going to
Sure.
have a good night. Alright, so, once again, I want to get into this question because we got about 13 minutes before the break, but if you want to call in like Nicole, the phone lines are open. Skype Paranormal Phil or by phone at 951-223-5055. Share your stories, experiences, or questions. Like I said, I'm not going to try and change your belief system. I'm not going to tell you you're wrong or anything like that. That's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to listen to what you have to say, and possibly give you my opinion, my answers to it, but it's up to you whether you want to believe that or not. Now, before the call, I want to mention that I was talking about empaths, and on the Talk on the Night website, talkonthenight.weebly.com, and probably next week it will no longer be .weebly.com. It will be actually talkonthenight.com. Because I'm going to purchase the domain name for it just because the show is going to get bigger. I'm going to get bigger advertisers. I'm not going to mention the advertiser's name yet because I don't have the advertiser yet. I just got the information today about it. So I still got to contact them. So also I want to let everybody know, share the post about being live right now. If you're listening, you're on my friends list, or you follow Talk on the Night Facebook page, share the post about it. Let people know that I am live and have them tune in. If you got friends, tell them Paranormal Phil's on the air. Tune in, share your stories, experiences, or questions, call in. But let's get into that question before we get into the break. It says, I always thought I wasn't normal. Like I was saying, don't ever say you're not normal just because you possibly have a gift like I do, being a hyper empath. But now, there are some things that I'll say that I'm not normal at, but being an empath and my gift to see and communicate with spirits is one of those things that I will not say I'm not normal. But it says, until I realized that some of my emotions may be due to being slightly empathic. Now, like I said, there are 6 different types of empath, and I'm going to get to the blog that I wrote. Like I said, check it out on the Talk of the Night vlog thing. It's on how to tell. It says, well, the blog is, are you an empath and how to tell? And I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I'm going to mention some of the traits as well as the different types of empaths. And I'm not going to read what each type of empath is, but like I said, you can read it for yourself. just visit the show's website, talkingthenight.weebly.com. First one is emotional empath. You can basically feel people's emotions. There's a physical, medical empath where you're a healer in sorts. You can feel people when read people when they're stressed or they have a medical condition or something like that, and you want to heal them. There's a geomagnetic empath. That's more of an environmental type empath. There's a plant empath, where you can sense the feelings from plants even. An animal empath, you're like me, I'm very good with animals. Animals will come up to me, and of course when I'm stressed, they tend to get a little aggressive, but because they can feel it from me too. And the sixth one is sorry, I'm gonna mispronounce this name, this word. Claircognizant, intuitive empath, and that is the one where you're very in tune to things going on around you, the spirits, everything like that. So there's that. Now, some of the traits of being an empath, knowing, being in public places can be overwhelming. I experience this quite a bit, and I work in a public place with hundreds of thousands of people. So it can get very tough at times, and I like to have my alone time when I do get like that. But when I'm working a job that is out in public, there ain't much I can do until I'm able to get away from everybody. If you tend to not want to watch TV because of the violence, cruelty, tragedy on TV, and it becomes unbearable, that's another trait. Sometimes people have digestive disorders or lower back problems, which I do have a lower back problem. But a lot of that has to do with my stupidity when I was in the Navy lifting heavy equipment without a back brace. Constant fatigue is another thing. Empaths can be very creative. They, of course, love nature and animals. They're always looking for the answers or knowledge. And I'm not going to read all of them, but like I said, check out the show's website, talkofthenight.weebly.com. Go to the vlog page, and you can read the rest of it for yourself. I also got another blog on there about, well, actually it's a vlog on seeing and communicate with spirits, how you can open up your third eye, and I give you tips on how I did it. Now, it's not going to work for everybody that way, but it will help on doing it, and you can watch that whole video there on how to see and communicate with spirits. Now, I will do another blog or vlog soon when I have time. But for that person that asked the question, how do you know if you are an empath? Well, if you're listening, check out my blog and you can find out for yourself. Now, like I said, I'm a hyper empath, so I can see and communicate with spirits, and I do have all the traits, and I'm all of the 6 different types of empaths. So that's why I consider myself a hyper empath. Now, we got 4 minutes before the break. Like I said, the phone lines are open. Call in, share your stories, experiences, or questions. I promise you I don't bite, as Nicole called in. I didn't bite it off her head just because she asked a question or shared her experience, I mean. So don't be shy. Call in. I know it's a Friday night. A lot of people might enjoy being out. But if you're listening and you're at work or on a job where you can listen to the show through one of the apps, Spreaker, TuneIn, YouTube, or on Facebook or the show's website, there's a link that will take you straight to Spreaker. You can also pop in the chat and say hi, and you can ask your questions or stories in there. Now, let's get into this real quick before we go into the break at the top of the hour. And I'm going to be a little, not rude, but I'm going to be... Okay, no, I read the question wrong. I thought it said, how do we open a portal? So I don't want to be rude now. I was going to say, if the person asked, how do we open a portal, I would have been like, don't do it. Basically, like that. But it says, did we open a portal? So I want to get to the question and find out if there's more in depth to the question or not. And there is. It says, I have a question. I wonder if it happened to others. In 2004, when Florida was getting hit with hurricane, I lived in Georgia. We were getting the tropical depression coming through. A mutual friend of me, my boyfriend at the time, and our roommate came to visit. He was from Florida. Now, nothing ever happened in this house prior to and not after. The power went out before we all went to bed because of the storm. I was sleeping and something woke me up. It was half awake and half asleep. I cracked my eyes open and looked, and there was a black hole in the ceiling, and this thing was looking at me. It came out of this black hole and looked like a slinky with a red velvet wrapped around it. I got scared, closed my eyes, and prayed and went to sleep. Now, I'm not going to get into the whole question because I don't have time to get into the whole question. But what this person was possibly experiencing was sleep paralysis because she was half asleep, half awake. And if you've ever experienced sleep paralysis, a lot of people have, and I did a show on Ask Paranormal Phil about sleep paralysis, and people have mentioned seeing an old hag. People have seen a guy with a hat. So it's not a certain type that sleep paralysis, a hallucination that you will see during sleep paralysis. Now, real quick, sleep paralysis is when the muscles in your body during REM sleep tighten up to where you can't move. And of course, if you've ever experienced sleep paralysis, you'll notice a lot of times that you cannot move. And what you perceive is probably from a dream state, a dream that you were having in that REM sleep. And it looks like I got 10 comments in the chat. Yeah, my thing kind of froze up and I didn't see the new comments coming in. Sorry about that. That's why it said 10 in the chat. So it was just the 10 comments. Like I said, pop in the chat, say hi, let me know you're listening. But, yeah, as far as sleep paralysis goes, it's just your muscles tightening up so that way you do not hurt yourself, like, for example, rolling off the bed or anything like that. So we are at the commercial break. I don't want to go any further past the top of the hour. We're going to take the commercial break at the top of the hour, and we'll be right back with more open line phone calls and your questions, stories, and experiences.
Voices in my head know me, call me. I will be restless. Somehow they chose me. This is my nightlife. Wanna be high life. I feel so reckless. Calling them all night. I'm calling.
If you like old-time talk shows, then you must tune in to Night Dreams Talk Radio. UFOs to Bigfoot, did we say black-eyed children? You'll find Night Dreams Talk Radio on TuneIn, iHeart, iTunes, and all the major apps. But on TuneIn, they're live 7 to 9 p.m. West Coast time starting in February. With all the major guests, Night Dreams. Do you have an interest in the paranormal? Well, tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Pacific on the Talk in the Night Facebook page for Ask Paranormal Phil. The show is a Facebook Live show where he gets into different topics about the paranormal and answers your questions. That's Ask Paranormal Phil every Tuesday night, only on the Talk in the Night Facebook page.
Do you have a talk radio, Facebook Live, or YouTube show and would like guests for your show but don't know where to go to get them? Well, go to radioguestlist.com and sign up today. They have all different experts in different fields and you can find the ones that are just right for your show. That's radioguestlist.com. Sign up today. It's free.
Are you scared? I can see you from behind. You can hear me in your mind. Run so fast as you can go. Time will catch you before you know.
To call into the show, Skype Paranormal Phil, or by phone at 951-223-5055. And now back to more open line phone calls with your host, Paranormal Phil.
Okay, and we are at the bottom, back half of the show, the second hour. The phone lines are open. Call into the show, share your stories, experiences, or questions that you might have. Again, also, since it is Valentine's week, Valentine's Day being on Wednesday, I want to hear your dating and relationship stories, experiences, or questions. They can be disasters, they can be happy stories. I don't care. I just want to hear them. or if you do have a question about dating, like I said, I've been through plenty of them, so I think I think that qualifies me to be able to answer some of those questions. Uh, but uh, yeah, the phone lines are open. Numbers to call in: Skype Paranormal Phil, or by phone at 951-223-5055. Now, the next question is, what is a doppelganger? Now, you might or might not have heard of this word. And if you do not know what a doppelganger is, it is somebody that looks exactly like you. And I'm pretty sure I have my share of doppelgangers. Now, what are they? It could simply be somebody that looks exactly like you, or it could be yourself from the future or the past. And again, Tuesday night next week, we're going to get into time travel, so we might mention about doppelgangers in that show. Now, Nicole asked in the chat, can having trauma experiences open up portals or to the spirit world? And no. Simple answer is no. Now, trauma experiences can help opening of your third eye, to where people have had traumatic experiences. They've had them, and then they've woken up from a traumatic experience. Example, I think I saw it a while back, where a lady woke up from a traumatic experience and she had a British accent, when she's not British. Like I said, I believe that a traumatic experience can open your third eye, to where you'll notice more of the spirit world. But as far as them opening portals to the spirit world, no. It just ain't gonna happen. Now, the portals are either open by a person that knows or doesn't know what they're doing, or they're open because of the geomagnetic field in the location area, such as the Omen House. And like I said, I keep bringing up the Omen House because I've been there several times. I've experienced several types of events there. Things like a butcher block not tipping over, but actually lifting up, twisting, and falling off. And this thing wasn't light, it was a heavy butcher block. We've had wine bottles come out of a rack, and I've tested this. Like I said, I tend to look for a terrestrial explanation before I say it's paranormal. But I went down there, I stepped on the floorboard to test it to see how much it would take to cause this wine bottle to fly out of the wine rack. And as hard as I jumped up and down, stomped on it and everything like that, no wine bottle, even with vibration, did not come out. Sorry, I was reading a question here, or thing about on my Talk on the Night Facebook page about portals, which I already talked about. But I tried everything to cause this wine bottle to kind of shake out of there or anything like that, and it would not do it. So there was no other explanation other than to say it was paranormal. Because these wine bottles, it would have took quite a bit of force to cause them to come out of the thing. Now, if you want to see these videos, go to youtube.com/David Ullman. You can see a lot of stuff there. A lot of it has to do with, of course, Beetlejuice falling. If you've ever watched Ghost Adventures at the Ullman House, from the Ullman House and everything, you'll notice a lot of it has to do with the Beetlejuice figurine falling. But there have been other events besides the Beetlejuice that have fallen over. One time, my buddy Steve, who is part of the paranormal team that helps with the tours there, he was down on the third level. The tours had ended. The ghost investigation tours had ended. Excuse me. And he was looking for his K2 meter on the lower level. Now, he was there by himself, nobody around. I was upstairs with David Ullman, and we were watching the cameras. And, of course, he walked by, and a teddy bear had just flung itself off of the shelf for no apparent reason. And that's not as heavy as a butcher block, but it still took quite a bit of energy from that spirit to knock that teddy bear over. Now, what could it be that the spirit wanted to knock it over? Did it want to let Steve know that it was there? Did it want to let Steve know that the K2 meter that he was looking for might have been over in that area? Which probably is not the case, because he went over to sit the bear back up, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. No, wait, he didn't go back over there to set the bear up. So he didn't go running out of there either, but because we've seen some weird stuff there. But quite possibly, because he couldn't find it, so he just came back upstairs because it was getting late. It was after 3 in the morning there, and we were getting tired. We had a long drive, over an hour drive back, and we just wanted to get out of there. Now, Mike posted in the chat saying that would be scary seeing a teddy bear come to life. And again, with haunted dolls, teddy bears, anything like that, the dolls are not possessed. I know a lot of people believe in Annabelle and Robert the doll being possessed, but the dolls are actually just being manipulated by the spirits to move and everything like that. And yes, of course, if you see a teddy bear being flung at you or moving, yes, it can be scary if you don't know what's going on. But it's just the spirit manipulating the toy, the doll, the spirit, teddy bear, whatever it may be. It's just manipulating the thing to make it move. Now, Nicole says she would be running if she saw a teddy bear come to life. Me, I would have probably been like, hello, nice to meet you. But I'm weird like that. There's the non-normal part of me. But I do cleanse of homes from the darker spirits, so I have no fear. And the darker spirits actually run from me because I have that no fear attitude when I go into doing something like that. So let's get into another question. Like I said, the phone lines are open. Don't be shy. Call in. Numbers to call in or Skype. By Skype, just Skype the name Paranormal Phil, all one word. Or by phone at 951-223-5055. Phone lines are open. Call in, share your stories, experiences, or questions. Also, like I said, Valentine's week is ending. And I want to hear your stories about dating and relationships, whether they're disasters or they're good memories, and everything like that. Now, I want to get into this question. I saw this question because I've been in the field 25 years, almost 26 years. Of course, I retired earlier, not this year. I retired early last year, I should say. And why did I retire from the field? Because it just got too expensive, and going out and investigating ghosts or Bigfoot or UFOs can be very expensive, especially with some of the equipment out there, which you might have heard the thing for Ghost Stop. They had commercial 30-second spot for a ghost stop, which if you go to talkingthenight.weebly.com and click on the banner ad at the top of the page, if you're a ghost hunter or want to be one and you need equipment, that's the place to get the one-stop shop for all your ghost hunting needs. Ghost Stop. Yes, I sound like a salesman there, but they are one of my sponsors, and I don't make money unless you buy stuff off of their website through my link at the top of the show's website. So if you buy stuff from there, that would help tremendously. But it does get expensive. And the question is, on this site is, and I lost this question here, are there jobs in ghost hunting? And the answer is no. It's a very expensive hobby, but no jobs. Unless you're on a TV show or you're helping with a tour. But as far as going out and investigating the paranormal, it's a very expensive hobby. That's what it is. Nicole says, MIK2 and Rimpa, I just need a night vision cam and I'll be set, I think. Well, Ghost Stop does have night vision cams. They have flare cameras and everything like that. Mike, if you can get that close to a Bigfoot to give him a bar of soap and a perm, more power to you. But like I said, Bigfoot at over 12 to 15 feet. Yeah, I don't think I would want to get that close to him. I mean, my closest experience was 500 feet away. And that was as close as I wanted to get to it. Now, like I said, I would love to go up into the San Bernardino Mountains and set up trail cams and see if I can get a picture or video of Bigfoot. See if that sighting happens to be true or if it's false. But I would love to experience, go out and do that. Now, one of these times, I'm also going to have to make a trip out to Landers, California, which I'm going to bring up a guest that I'm going to have in March. I wanted to have him in February on Ask Paranormal Phil, but because of scheduling conflict, I could not get him on the show. So I rescheduled him for March 12th. And that person is Chad Meek. He is the nephew of George Van Tassel. His movie Giant Rock the Movie, check it out, giantrockthemovie.com. You can find out about him and everything, but of course, we'll be talking to him. But the reason why I bring him up is because I want to say it's probably about 70 miles from here, 60, 70 miles away from where I'm at in Landers, California. And if you've never heard of the place, I'll talk about it a little bit here. And it's of course, there's Giant Rock there, where Chad Meek's late uncle had a UFO encounter, and he was a contactee out there. But there is also a building called the Integron, and a lot of people go there for like healing and stuff like that, almost like Sonora, Arizona, where people go down there to sit in I guess because of the geomagnetic field in those areas, it's great for healing. But I want to go there, see if I see if I can't have my own UFO experience. Now, that is a great question, Nicole. And she asked, or she said, I wonder if UFOs and Bigfoot are connected. And there has been that claim made. There's been the claim that they're time travelers. They come from another dimension. That claim has also been made. And of course, all those are possible, but I also believe that with our forest areas and everything like that, vast forest areas where a lot of these creatures have been seen, of course we can't cover every inch of it, so they're probably hidden well. Another example with another creature, Loch Ness Monster. That creature has not been seen in quite a while. Now, could the creature have died? Or could the creature have... And I think I've talked about this once before, where maybe there is an underwater tunnel from the loch to out into the ocean. Then this creature happens to live out in the ocean, but comes to visit the loch every once in a while. There is also that possibility. And there is just, like I said, cryptozoology means hidden animal. So if they don't want to make themselves known, they're not going to make themselves known. So, quite possibly, these creatures, unless you happen to stumble upon their territory or their home, if you will, they're probably going to avoid you. Like I've always been told, because I used to raise snakes for a living. I had a ball python, two gopher snake. No, I had a ball python, a gopher snake, and two California king snakes at one time. And a lot of people would tell me they're more afraid, and I would tell people, of course, they're more afraid of you than you are of them. Even a rattlesnake is going to try and avoid you unless you happen to corner them. And in the case of Gary, when he talked about the Bigfoot tossing the rock at his car, quite possibly he did corner the Bigfoot and it got scared, and that's why it tossed it. I'm just making a speculation. I'm not saying that's the case, because I'm not going to say that that was the case, but I'm just giving my opinion, my thoughts on it. So yeah, there are so many possibilities on Bigfoot, whether they're interdimensional, whether they're from an alien race, whether they're time travelers. I've heard all of those, but like I said, nobody really knows the answer to it. Now, I'm not saying go out and kill a Bigfoot just to prove they exist, because a person in Georgia actually stuffed a Bigfoot costume with a bunch of meat, raw meat, and claimed it was Bigfoot when that was not the case. But don't go out and kill them just because you want to prove that they're there. Try to get pictures, try to get video. And a lot of pictures and video are grainy because the person's hands are shaking and everything like that. So that's why they get that grainy, bouncy feeling and everything like that. Now we got a couple minutes. Once again, the phone lines are open. Call in, share your stories, experiences, or questions. I got about a minute before we take the final commercial break. Mike says that they're from they could be from a ape race, and that's a theory I've never heard of before, but it is quite possible. Again, at the smallest I think I've seen, or people have seen, I should say, is about 8 feet. The one I saw was about 12. And it would have to be a pretty good size ape that we don't know. But there is a lot in this world that we have yet to discover. We actually know more about space than we do about our deep oceans. And we're constantly finding new creatures in our oceans. And we actually know more about our oceans than we do some parts of our forests on Earth. And like I said, there could be a creature that we have yet to discover. So we're going to take this last commercial break. We're at the bottom, or the half. So we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back with more open line phone calls, where you can share your stories, experiences, and questions. We'll be right back.
My head is heavy, let me lay it down. Into your lap I would love to drown. I need that story I used to hear, to run on into and disappear. I won't lie down and I won't, I won't lie down, and I can't do this without you. I won't lie down and I won't, I won't lie down, and I can't do this without you. Your stories, they come from the heart. Glue me together and tear me apart.
Do you want to know how to attract love, money, jobs, success? Well, check out livelifemadeToorder.com. If you go to the products page and mention Talk in the Night, you will get 50% off of your order. That's livelifemadeToorder.com. Be sure to check out the show's website at talkingthenight.weebly.com for some great content such as Story of the Day, This Day in History, and much more. Also, if you missed the show, check out the show's archive page under the radio show tab where you can find all the shows listed. And be sure to sign up for the Talk in the Night newsletter. Would you like to take part in a special live broadcast of Talk in the Night, a meet and greet with me and David Oman, and how about a 6-hour ghost investigation at the Oman House, which has been featured on paranormal TV shows such as Ghost Adventures, Ghost Hunters, Paranormal Witness, Haunted History, and My Ghost Story? Well, go to Talk in the Night on Facebook and click on the event and get your ticket today before they sell out.
Turn the lights off in his bedroom. For tonight I will be dreaming of you. It's the one thing I can rely on when everything else is so confused. I'm not leaving, no, that you're here with me. Don't wake me up, don't wake me up, don't wake me up. I may be dreaming, but what I found for you is real. Don't wake me up, don't wake me up, don't wake me up.
To call into the show, Skype Paranormal Phil, or by phone at 951-223-5055. And now back to more open line phone calls with your host, Paranormal Phil.
Okay, and once again, as you heard, the phone lines are open. If you want to call in, share your stories, experiences, or questions, don't be afraid to call in and share your stories, experiences, or questions. I promise you I will not bite your head off for your stories or experiences, and I will try to answer your question the best that I can. Like I said, I've been in the field over 25 years. I should know a thing or two about the paranormal. But like I said, also, I want to hear your dating stories, experiences, or questions. And I'm sure I can answer something there. Now, I want to... gotta get back to it. Nikki talked about something on the Talk in the Night Facebook page, and I wanted to get into that real quick. Elementals. That's a confusing one, she said. Well, what are elementals? I believe at the Omen House we've had experience with the elemental. Elementals could be interdimensional creatures, and such as trolls, and I'm not talking about the trolls that I've gotten in the Facebook Live videos that I've done before, where people ask about a couch auction. That when I'm talking about the paranormal, I'm not talking about those type of trolls. I'm talking about trolls from fairy tales. Uh, those go back also in history and everything like that. People talking about dragons, trolls, fairies. So that's basically what an elemental is. Some creature such as that. That's what an elemental is. Now, I do believe that they are possibly interdimensional creatures that we might see from time to time, but very seldom. They're hidden, just like Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster, and stuff like that. But there's a lot that we don't notice a lot of times, and we just don't happen to see them. But we did see an elemental at the Omen House, and again, I bring up the Omen House so much because I've been there so many times. There's been so much that I've seen there. But I do believe elementals are interdimensional. They're such as trolls, gnomes, fairies, dragons, and they have to do with the elements, wind, fire, water, and earth. And they use that to do what they do, whether it be magic or something like that. I can't speak on what what elementals do, but as like I said, I've read that they are interdimensional creatures. Like I said, now I have possibly seen a troll before up in Northern California, and I can't be for certain, but even there was talks about of a troll under a bridge. But yeah, I believe they could be possibly interdimensional creatures. So I wanted to answer that question for Nikki. And hopefully, Nikki, if you're listening, that is the answer that you wanted to hear. Like I said, I can only talk from my experience and what I know or heard, but it's mostly my opinion on things, so I can't say for certain because I'm not an elemental, I'm not Bigfoot, I'm not the Loch Ness Monster. So, yeah. So let's get into some more questions. Like I said, the phone lines are open. We got 20 minutes left in the show. If you want to call in, share your stories, experiences, or questions, phone numbers to call in are by Skype. Skype the name Paranormal Phil, all one word, or by phone at 951-223-5055. I would love to hear your phone calls. Nicole called in, so don't be shy. If she can do it, so can you. And like I said, I know it's a Friday night, and most people might be out partying, but if you're listening to this, that means you're stuck at home or at work. Now, the next question is, does voodoo exist? And yes, it does, especially in the deep south, like New Orleans. People practice voodoo. And again, with voodoo, you might know voodoo as people sticking pins in a little doll and causing pain to somebody. Well, again, like the Ouija board and other tools, it's the intent put into it. And if you're going to put that intent into it, that's exactly what you're going to get out of it. So, yes, voodoo exists, but it's the intent that is put into it that causes, when voodoo priest or priestess stick pin needles into a doll that looks like you and you feel like a sharp pain or something, that's because the intent that was put into it, they put in the intent to make you feel the pain. And well, let's just leave it at that. I mean, again, like I said, it's the intent put into it. Now, let's see. Let's see. Okay. I saw another question, but I'm trying to find it. See. Now, what is astral traveling? And it's where you can basically like a out of body experience. You can travel outside of your body to different places. No, you're not dead. It's not just spirit or soul leaving your body to never come back unless that tether is broken. Now, a lot of people talk about when they have out of body experiences or astral projection of a almost like a rope holding your spirit from your body to kind of keep you attached to your body so you don't drift off. And our bodies are a vessel for our spirit, our soul, however you want to believe, depending on your belief system. And that way you stay alive while you're doing astral projection or out of body experience. Now, I've heard other people say that they feel like a Velcro type feeling when their spirit or soul leaves their body to do an out of body experience or astral travel. It's like just kind of, and that's the best I can do for the sound effect for Velcro. And I didn't download Velcro because I didn't know I was going to talk about something like this. But yeah, some people have experienced something like that. So I'm just looking at the chat real quick. So yeah, that's what astral projection is. Let's see. Now, questions about reincarnation and family. Reincarnation, past life regression. I believe that our spirits, and like I said, everybody's got a different belief system. A lot of people say when you die, you go to heaven or hell and there's no coming back. Well, I happen to believe different. But again, to each their own different belief system. But I have done past life regression, and I do believe that our spirits come back to a new body. and we start all over again in this life that we experience. But there's been stories where children have mentioned about things in their past life and everything like that, and that they could only know if they were alive during that time period and they just came to a new body. And no, the body, I can't have a spirit from the past come into me and I start living that life. No, that's not how it works. When a child is conceived and everything like that, that's when that spirit will join the host body, if you will, and you live out your life. Now, a lot of people sometimes will not remember about their past lives. Now, like I said, I've done past life regression before on myself, self-taught, and for me, my soul is over 600 years old. My spirit is over 600 years old. Of course, my body is not over 600 years old, although it sometimes feels like that. But no, my spirit, I believe we come back and we possibly do this until we found a way to live the perfect life. Now, I believe that my spirit has reached reached the end of its cycle, where I will end up staying on that higher plane of existence once I pass on, and I'll be more of a spirit guide after this life, because I believe I might have perfected everything that I need to know in that over 600 years of my spirit being around. Now, the question is, where do we start? That's a good question. Where does our spirit, if we do reincarnate, if we do have past lives and everything, where do we start? Where does our spirit come from? Well, only God can answer that question. And yes, being a Wiccan, I do believe there is a God. I just don't believe in the Christian faith of God. But I do believe there is a higher power. And Wiccans, we believe in many gods. But there is one higher power, the one that created all of this. Now, I've made comparisons before with the Christian faith and people of different faiths, like such as Wiccan, that makes people think. Like, for example, heaven and hell by the Christian faith. And of course, I've heard from, saw a video from a Catholic priest that said hell was made up to scare people. That's all it was. Hell was made up to scare people. That's all. And that was from somebody from the Catholic Church that mentioned that. But if you believe in heaven and hell, what I believe in is there's a higher plane of existence and a lower plane of existence. That could be heaven and hell. Angels and demons, another example. I believe that there's light entities and dark entities. Same thing. So it's all on how you perceive things and everything like that. Now we got 10 minutes left in the show. If you want to call in, we got about 5 minutes left for at least one or maybe two calls. So call in. The numbers to call in are 951-223-5055 or by Skype at Paranormal Phil. Don't be shy. Like I said, I know it's a Friday night. A lot of people might be out partying, having fun. But if you're not and you're listening to the show, call in. It's not... I'm not going to bite your head off for your belief system or anything like that. So let's get into a question here. And the question I just saw, it just happened to be the question I looked at, and I just talked about it, is what do you think of my theory of heaven and hell? And I don't know what this person's theory of heaven and hell are, but I'm actually going to click on it and see what the overall question is, just because I want to see what their theory is. Now, I mentioned to you my theory of it, but this person says light and darkness theory. Now, before I begin, I have to bring a few points to whomever reads this. It is just the theory, and that it's not meant to make heaven seem bad or hell seem good. They in this theory still will be represented, always have. Also, it's not meant to step on anyone's beliefs, which I do not step on anybody's beliefs. You're welcome to believe whatever you believe in. I'm just trying to give you a different way of thinking about it, and it's up to you whether you want to believe it or not. But it says, my theory in hell is filled with the light we portray heaven to be filled with, and for heaven to be a complete darkness, which is actually a pretty interesting theory. And like I said, we'll probably never know until we actually get onto that other side, whether you believe in past lives or reincarnation. We'll probably never know. Now, Mike says, Phil, you ever get looked by people when you say Wiccan? And yes, I mentioned it on my show many times about people I call Bible thumpers, the ones that they can do no wrong. Their belief systems are the only belief systems. And I'm willing to listen to a person from the Christian faith. I've actually gone to church Easter sunrise services, church services, so it doesn't stop me from doing that and trying to understand other people's beliefs. Now, I've had people say, well, if you're Wiccan, if you practice witchcraft, you're the devil, you're evil, you're not supposed to be doing that. And those people are closed-minded and don't understand that they're not perfect. Nobody in this world is ever going to be perfect. I try for perfection. I like to try to be perfect. But I know that I'll never be perfect. Same with these people. They will never be perfect. And I tell them about there's been times I talked about ghosts and spirits and stuff like that, and doing paranormal investigations. I've gotten that too, where I'm evil, you're the devil, you practice devil worshiping Satanism, stuff like that. I've gotten that. And I come back at them in the nicest way possible, and I say, well, does the Bible not mention Jesus as the Holy Ghost or Holy Spirit? And a lot of times they'll shut up and walk away. And it's true. I mean, the Bible does mention Jesus as the Holy Spirit or Holy Ghost. And does it not mention ghost or spirit right there? So how it, and there's been times that it's like, if there's no ghost or spirit, what's controlling your body? Yes, your muscles are controlling your body, but your spirit is what makes you you. It controls your brain, which controls your muscles and everything like that. So it's everybody has their own belief system. Like I said, I'm not here to try and change that belief system of anybody. That's not what I'm here to do. But I'm here to give you my opinions, my thoughts on things, and my explanation for anything. Now, as we were talking about Wicca and witchcraft and stuff, yes, Mike, some people do use it for evil. And that's their belief system. I don't care to use it for evil. I was given this gift, and I practice nature magic, so it's nothing but good that comes out of it. And it's what people want to believe. And as long as they do not cause me harm, then I have no problem with somebody. Now, we got 2 minutes left in the show. I want to mention about next week's shows. What we got coming up for next week's shows. Now, Monday night, I do have a guest on here a guest on the show that is a hip hop artist, and he gave me permission to use his songs for the commercial break. So you'll get a chance to hear his music as we talk about his music and everything like that. And that is Derek Grosskirth, as we talk about encounters with the paranormal. We're going to get into different aspects about the paranormal from somebody that uses his music to talk about his encounters with angels, aliens, UFOs, and spirituality. Tuesday night we have on Facebook Live on the Talking Night Facebook page, we're going to be talking about, in the first hour, time travel. Could it be possible? We'll talk about some of the stories that people claim to be time travelers and everything like that. We'll get into that. And then, of course, we're going to get off the whole paranormal topic on Wednesday when we talk with my guest Kevin Sisko, as we talk about new technology, technology news, and computer security. And all about that stuff. How to possibly keep out viruses from our computers. And stuff that the mainstream media will not cover. So we'll get into that on Wednesday. And of course, next Friday night is back to open lines where you, the listeners, can call in, share your stories, experiences, or questions, or pop in the chat and ask them. So we are at 11 o'clock on my clock. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I hope you had a good time listening to the show, and I will be back on Monday night, 9 p.m. Pacific, right here on Spreaker, TuneIn, and YouTube, and hopefully soon iHeartRadio and more. So until next week, I shall see you on the dark side. Good night from Talking the Night.